rather than find out how and if somebody else even wants to be supported. Oh my gosh, that's so me. So this is an issue for probably a lot of coaches, myself included, is this rescuer thing. Like, oh, but I could help you with that. Well, do you even want the help?
I want to take a moment to introduce this next video. I originally streamed it to a different YouTube channel during a broadcast for a webinar. And I've gone back in, made some edits to take out some things that are no longer that relevant. Before I share it with you, I also want to say a big thank you to Dr. Judith Wright and everybody who had helped put it together at the Wright Foundation, all the students and staff and volunteers who helped build the presentation. So there's a lot that has gone into this, a lot into the research behind this, and so I wanted to make sure to say a big thank you to everybody. Now, you'll see more things on YouTube about the Drama Triangle. It's the work of Stephen Cartman, a student of Eric Byrne, and there's a lot of really good stuff out there, so check it out. The purpose of this video, why I'm sharing this when there's already a lot of videos and research out there about this topic, is I think this one really helps us see how we give up our power in kind of an underhanded way. And so as you're watching this or listening in, the real focus is to see how you do this, how you use the drama triangle to create a buffer between you and life, between you and your own experience. And in watching this, you'll probably be disturbed, and you may hopefully be able to kind of laugh about yourself, because this is something that we all do. It's just human nature at this point in our evolution. So I hope this is helpful. Again, the goal for you in watching this is to help you identify ways that you get in your own way, or ways that you aren't as effective as you want to be, and ways that you might be unconscious of this kind of thing. So it's to help you see that, help you kind of lift the veil on your life experience so that you can take more satisfaction in your life. All right, enjoy.
And then be curious and open-minded. Don't be a know-it-all. That's not fun for anybody. Be thinking about how you can apply the content from tonight versus critiquing it. Maybe it's something that you've heard before, but now apply it to here and now. Apply it to your situation now, and thinking about conversations that you're going to be having this weekend. Again, using the chat. So love it. Hello. Oh, I'm getting more hellos. Jennifer. Yes. Welcome. Good to have you here. Rich. Welcome. Chantel. Hello, Jane. Yes. Shakira. Good to have you. Fantastic. Sheila. Welcome. Hey, Robin. Oh, good to have you here. So like this, using the chat to engage with the content, to use it to learn, not to share links to things and products. That's no fun, and it just kind of turns people off. So don't do that. Use it to engage with the content. I'll be asking you to share your thoughts, experiences, that kind of thing coming up here. Okay, now, next I want to know what you want out of tonight. So think about what you want, because the more that you want, the more you intend, the more you're going to get. And that goes moment by moment. So we want to get into that wanting mindset, thinking about, why am I here? What do I want from this? So let's do a poll, actually, and help us get aligned here on what do we want? So do we want to deal better with stress and responsibilities? Do we want to be more hopeful and not so overwhelmed by everything that's happening in the world, in our lives? Do we want to be better able to handle whatever comes up? You're going into your day, you think you have it all planned out, and then bam, something totally changes. Do we want to be better able to do that, work with that? More conscious of our time and using our energy well. We want to do that more, so we know that we're using what we have better. To be a better support to myself and to others. You know, you got family members, friends, loved ones that you want to be supporting better, to be more productive, more creative. Awesome. Oh, this is so cool. I can see. Oh, wow. So I'm seeing everybody's results coming in here. And I got to say, number one, clearly, we've got 81% at to be a better support to myself and others. That's beautiful. And number two, we've actually got is to be better able to handle whatever comes up. Yeah, because we know at this point that things are going to come up in life, and to be able to course correct and kind of flex and flow. Well, that's great. And to be better able to support myself and others. So be holding on to that. And of course, all of the things. But we're going to be getting into interactions in the drama triangle. And this is going to apply a great deal because there's all kinds of ways that I want to be a support. I want to help people. And I often just kind of get in my own way. And then, of course, get in other people's way too. So we'll be looking a little bit more at that later. Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody for engaging in that. So I am honored to be here with you. You know, you're people who want to learn and grow, to develop your emotional intelligence, to deal and cope better, to be more satisfied, to be a positive influence. I think that one really ties to what 81% of us were saying is most important. You know, and we know that there's many things that you could be doing tonight. Yet you chose to be here to grow, improve your life, and to make a difference in your life and with others. So I want you to congratulate yourselves. Congratulate yourselves for wanting more in life and going for it. Woo woo! I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. That's right, George Donald. Way to be here. And, you know, I asked you before what you wanted from this webinar, but I'd like you to think beyond tonight. Think big picture into your whole life. And let's do another poll. Yeah, Robin, that's right. Go, Robin. That's right, Nee. And as we're looking into our life overall, let's do the next poll and think about, you know, what would you like more of in your life? To be more productive, more motivated, to have more time and more energy, be more satisfied and fulfilled, to have a better quality of life, to have deeper relationships. Yeah. To deal with stress and or challenges better. To realize my potential. To be a better leader. To be a better support to myself and to others. We still got folks entering in here. Beautiful. I love it. Beautiful. Yeah, what's on your heart when you think big picture? It's like a little race that I can see between as you're entering in. Oh my goodness. It looks like we now have a tie between, but to be a better support to myself and others. That looks like that has taken the lead. And number two is be more satisfied and fulfilled, to have a better quality of life. You know what? And I think those two really go together. You know, because we're in connection. It's like if my neighbor and the people I care about aren't doing so hot, then chances are I'm not going to be doing so hot. So I think those go together really well. To be more satisfied, have a more fulfilled life, better quality of life, and to be a better support to myself and others. Oh, sweet. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your hearts in that poll with me. So our research shows that all are aspects of what happens when you take charge of your life, when you take responsibility for your life. So I'm going to get a little bit into that. You know, that word responsibility, for me, it's not a word that I was super friendly with, But when I started looking at the word responsibility from the point of view that I'm the author of my life, I'm the one who's creating. So I'm, steering the ship that is me, that is my life. That's what responsibility means, that I have agency in the world. Oh my goodness. So be thinking about that. And I've been studying great lives for over 10 years, a lot through the Wright Foundation and my master's study of transformational leadership and coaching. I would say that as a teenager and in my 20s, in my own way, I was, searching for how to live a great life. But academically, strategically, I've been doing that for about 10 years. And, as a leader in the programs at Wright Foundation, part of our training is this innovative curriculum in coaching and consulting to bring out the best in others. So Dr. Judith Wright, so she's been studying this for a long time. And she discovered this process that I want to share with you, the process of evolating while doing her doctorate research. So she's studying people who lived great lives, who are living great lives, and wrote the book Transformed, where we discovered that people who fulfill their potential, people who live great lives and flourish in all areas, family, career, body, spirituality, and all of these are people who can navigate times of crisis. They can do that well, that they can take charge of their own lives, creating their lives, that they have a sense of well-being and satisfying personal life in relationships, in their career, leadership, and that they develop great social and emotional intelligence, really a sense of what they're feeling, what others are feeling. And they've developed this through the 6-phase process. They embody the 6-phase process in all of their lives. They focus on fulfilling their deeper yearning. And it's guided by their own deep desires, not dictated or programmed by what others think, what society says, but really in themselves. They have a desire to be known, to connect, to excel, to love and be loved, to matter and to make a difference, to be in touch with their own emotions. That's all in this yearning part of the yearning phase of evolution. And they're focused on their values, not others' agendas. What's really true to them. Now, yearning's great, but next they engage. They engage to meet that yearning, and that requires doing things, connecting with others. So they engage and they learn and grow and experiment. They're present and aware. They take risks. They take risks in life and live adventurously by taking the right kind of action to do that. And then they revelate. They become aware of what we call their matrix, those limiting beliefs or kind of mode of being, just the everyday kind of mindless thinking that many of us, and all of us are in somewhat, and so they're become aware of that, become aware of the family and cultural influences. And they become conscious and awake and aware of drama and stinking thinking, drama and limiting beliefs. And they reveal more. They become more transparent and genuine, more authentic with others. And then they liberate. So they liberate beyond limiting beliefs. They experiment and live beyond what our personal and cultural and family limits are, which means that we're willing to make mistakes, and this is a key skill in learning and growing that Carol Dweck talks about, is the ability to make mistakes. And you know what? With learning and growing, we're not really learning and growing if we're not making mistakes, if we're not going into our personal unknown. So this is liberating, where we're changing our programming of our thoughts, and we begin to rematrix. So while we're rematrixing, we're rewiring our neural pathways to embody new empowering beliefs. We're becoming who we yearn to become. And then there's a final phase. I thought this is so beautiful. Dr. Judith Wright shares about this. In her research, she's looking at these qualities, these phases that make great lives. And she knows there's something else. There's something else. In this research, by the way, if any of you have done the Grounded Leadership Corridor at WGU or are thinking about it, it will blow your mind, this approach to research. It's huge, vast, and you have to take so much data, collect so much, and then allow the data to inform your own research. It's freaking beautiful. So she was getting this sense that there's something more here. There's something else beyond these 5 phases, and that is to dedicate. That's when you dedicate to becoming your best. It's great to dedicate to being, the best flute player, or, the best in your position in your job, or whatever that is. It's all beautiful. But think about it. If we want to double down on it, we dedicate to being your best. So you're dedicating to this elevating process, dedicating to yearning, engaging, revelating, liberating, rematrixing. And those 6 phases are what people who are living great lives are doing. So they take responsibility for their lives and they don't stay trapped in the drama triangle. They have true self-care and satisfaction. And everything that we're going to get into today, all of this stuff that we're talking about, it's research-based. It's based on our own research. It's on social science, positive psychology, existential philosophies and psychology, and neuroscience, and emerging emotional intelligence research. So there's so much, but tonight we're going to talk about the drama triangle, why it's a problem, how does it keep us from taking care of ourselves and being satisfied, and why do we get trapped in it so easily? And then how do we escape from the dreaded drama triangle? What are ways that we can be truly satisfied and take good care of ourselves? What happens when we get out of the drama triangle? Again, this is based on science and research. I'll share some of that with you. If you wanted to learn all of it, I'd say the best way is that you'd take the master's program. But we've got a limited time. So if everything that I'm sharing with you, this is, remember, stuff that we've learned of people over the last 30 to 40 years, people in their lives flourishing in all areas of their lives. And I'll let you know towards the end of this webinar about a gift, a way that you can really integrate this further, more than what you'll be able to do tonight. You're going to be learning about stuff tonight, which is cool. We'll get a little bit into some experiments, but to go much deeper, I'll share something with you later tonight. So, what is keeping you from engaging in real self-care during these times? Keeping you from being satisfied and happy? With everything you've got going on, does it feel like you don't have time or the energy to spend taking care of yourself, or the motivation? For so many of us, it feels like there's a reason, or a million reasons, that we can't do what we've been meaning to do. Maybe it's that you've been assigned too much work. Maybe it's that you have to look after your family. Or maybe it's that no one is stepping up, so you have to. And the chances are that you've had a few hundred reasons like this. And it feels like you're stuck in all the to-dos, all the responsibilities that just leave you drained, feeling trapped by your circumstances and powerless to get out. Think about your relationships at home or work. Any of this stuff come up for you? Do you feel like you're having the same fight over and over again? I want to hear from all of you, actually. So let's do a poll here. How do you relate to this? This is where we're going into the not so fun stuff, but it's really important to get a sense of how we relate to this so that we can do something about it. So do you find yourself having the same fight over and over again? Do you get into conflicts that never resolve? Do you find yourself constantly rescuing the people around you? Oh my goodness. I'll share more about that, but that's one of my big ones. Or this one too. Do you feel like you have no control over your life sometimes? Do you feel like you're the only grown up in your relationships? Are your relationships full of blaming, nagging, whining, and complaining? Oh yeah, keep going. Keep clicking the ones that relate to you. Yep. You know what? We're getting a lot of people here having the same fight over and over again. Yeah, right? I mean, how many times? My wife and I, we have the same fights again and again. Clients I work with, all kinds of people. And number two is rescuing the people around you. Okay, so we got a lot of rescuers. A lot of rescuers and a lot of folks having the same fight again and again. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing those. Thank you for sharing that. So, since you answered to that, if you clicked on any of those, you relate to any of this, you're likely stuck in the drama triangle. So the drama triangle is the psychological equivalent to the Bermuda Triangle. It's the interaction pattern where people try indirectly to get their needs met by assuming the role of victim, rescuer, or persecutor. And they avoid taking appropriate responsibility. I got to give a shout out to Stephen Cartman, who was a student of Eric Berne back in the 60s. He's the one who developed the drama triangle that we just looked at. Super useful tool. This dreaded drama triangle has been around and will probably be around for a while. We'll look at some ways to get out of it. But let's stay in this zone of looking at how we relate to being in the drama triangle. So, have you ever felt sorry for yourself or for others? Or powerless to get what you want? Hopeless to change things? Resentful of the ways in which others take advantage of you or your friends? If so, you're in the drama triangle. And if you've ever blamed somebody else when things have gone wrong or when you're unhappy, dumped your bad mood on others, on your children, your partner, friends, coworkers, neighbors, or even innocent bystanders, or acted in a superior way to keep others on the defensive, you are in the drama triangle. And if you're assertive to a fault and wonder why others are so damn reactive to you, you're in the drama triangle. If you repeatedly rush to the rescue for a friend or partner, coworker, or even strangers, if you're known as the fixer of everybody else's problems while neglecting to focus on your own life, you, my friend, are in the drama triangle. So, the roles in this drama triangle, we saw them briefly, but let's dig in here. We've got the victim, the persecutor, and the rescuer, none of whom take proper responsibility, none of whom are authoring their own lives. A victim takes no responsibility, while a persecutor puts 100% of responsibility on others. And a rescuer takes responsibility that is not theirs. So some qualities of victims are that they're helpless and hopeless. They deny responsibility for their negative circumstances. They deny the possession of the power to change their circumstances. They do less than 50%. They won't take a stand on anything. They act super sensitive, wanting kid glove treatment. They pretend to be impotent and incompetent. A victim is someone who usually feels overwhelmed by their own sense of vulnerability, inadequacy, or powerlessness. Yikes. And a victim does not take responsibility for themselves and their own power. They often look for rescuers to take care of them. And I mean, I know I know I relate to this in many ways. And I'd love to lighten it up a little bit with a clip and just see how you relate to this. See, where are the areas in your life that you act like a victim? All right. How is this you?
Whoa, that's not good.
Oh, I don't need this. I'm already late.
Somebody will come. Anybody out there?
Do you have a phone?
No. Sorry. Somebody! Hello? There are two people stuck on an escalator and we need help. Now, would somebody please do something? I don't believe this. You gotta be kidding me.
I'm gonna cry.
Well, there's not enough left to do.
Yep. I want to just see in the chat. Let me know how many of you can relate to that. Is there spots in your life where you could see yourself not really taking responsibility and taking charge and doing some things that you know could help you get out of some circumstances? Or yes, okay, thank you, Patricia. Rich, yep, okay. I was beginning to think Elizabeth and I were the only ones, and I was starting to become a victim to all of you for not relating to me. Yep. Okay, thank you, Eva. Thank you, Veronica. Yes, Robin, I know, okay. Sweet, thanks everybody. So, at some point, the victim may feel let down by the rescuer, kind of like that escalator, or perhaps even overwhelmed by the persecutor. And at this stage, the victim will move into the persecutor position and persecute the rescuer. Oh my goodness, I've totally done that. You didn't help me good enough. You didn't really help me out. And they may even enlist another rescuer to persecute the previous rescuer. However, the victim will still experience themselves internally as being the victim. So it's like really dangerous persecutors are experiencing themselves as victims. Yeah. So the rescuer. Now, rescuers are constantly applying short-term repairs to a victim's problems while neglecting their own needs. Thank you, Patricia. Yeah, totally. And they're harried, tired, often have physical complaints. Oh, my legs are so sore. They have this, usually underneath they're angry, and they might be a loud or a quiet martyr in style. Always, subtly trying to get people to feel sorry for them. Like, wow, they do so much. And they use guilt to get their way. Now, unwitting rescuers are do-gooders without boundaries. A rescuer is someone who often does not own their own vulnerability and seeks instead to rescue those who they see as vulnerable. Have you ever had somebody like trying to help you out and you're like, I don't need your help? So the traits of a rescuer are that they often do more than 50% of the work. They may offer help unasked for. Yep, Shakira. They rather than find out how and if somebody else even wants to be supported. Oh my gosh, that's so mean. So this is an issue for probably a lot of coaches, myself included, is this rescuer thing. Like, oh, but I could help you with that. Do you even want the help? So this means that a rescuer may then end up feeling hard done by or resentful, used, unappreciated. Right on, Patricia. And the rescuer does not take responsibility for themselves, but rather takes responsibility for the perceived victim who they rescue. Oh my goodness. I'm just having some personal insights here while I'm doing this. It's the beauty of doing this, is I get to see all the ways that I am rescuing That's not helpful. So the rescuer will always end up feeling the victim, but sometimes may be perceived by others who are on the outside looking in as being the persecutor. The rescuer is the least obvious role, because it's like, oh, they're trying to do something. They're trying to help out. In terms of the drama triangle, the rescuer is not a person helping somebody in an emergency. That's not a rescuer. We're not talking about that kind of rescue. We're talking about the kind of rescuing that is trying to help where help isn't really needed or wanted. Now, the rescuer has surface motives of rescuing, resolving a problem, and appears to be making great efforts to do so, but also has a hidden motive not to succeed, or to succeed in a way that they benefit from. So for example, they may feel a sense of self-esteem or status as a rescuer. God, this is painful reading. It's so me. I often do that. I'll have a hidden motive that I might even be unconscious of. I might enjoy people being dependent on me. Yep, Patricia, back to your sister, totally. And, so a rescuer can seem calm and reasonable, has words that placate and soothe others, can explain, justify. It can be considered a rescuer response. It's an attempt to move the other person from their position. Now, persecutors blame. They blame victims and criticize and enable the behavior of rescuers without providing guidance, assistance, or a solution to the underlying problem. They are critical and unpleasant and good at finding fault. They often feel inadequate underneath. They control with threats, order, and rigidity. They can be loud or quiet in style. They can be a bully. Unwitting persecutors can be people simply inviting accountability, but become labeled the bad guy for interfering with someone's intent to avoid that accountability. So the position of the persecutor is synonymous with being unaware of one's own power and therefore discounting it. And either way, the power used is negative and often destructive. And any player in the game may at any time be experienced as the persecutor by the other player or players. However, their own internal perception may be that they are being persecuted and that they are the victim. And we talked about that before. The victim is maybe somebody who's experiencing themselves as a victim can be quite a persecutor. So let's take a look at what the drama triangle looks like in real life. Okay. Do you feel sorry for yourself because you aren't getting what you need in your relationship? You unload your litany of complaints on your spouse. So you're moving from victim to persecutor. Your spouse yells and says, "You're crazy." He moves to the persecutor role. And you complain to your girlfriend who tells you how great you are and how wrong he is. You move from victim and you move to victim, and she moves into the rescuer role. Does this sound familiar? Well, it's the plot of every soap opera, drama, good book, movie, kind of anything in that realm. It's just why maybe we get so hooked by this, because it's how we're used to relating. And these dramas, they perpetuate themselves in endless loops of dissatisfaction with no real change due to the indirect attempts to fulfill legitimate human yearnings. So let's get this poll up and let's come clean. What role do you often find yourself in? Which one do you identify the most with? Which one? Oh, not this poll. We want the other one. We want the poll that has there we go. This poll. See, right there, I could have been a victim. I could have been a victim and said, "Oh no, it wasn't the right poll." And then I don't know how I would have gotten rescued, but then I could have turned into a persecutor. See? Which do you, okay, so we're getting, yeah, rescuers. All right, fellow rescuers. But we got nobody seeing how you're a persecutor? Really? Oh my God. Okay, we got one. We got one person who recognizes how they're a persecutor. Way to go, one person who recognizes how you're a persecutor. I guess that's it's vulnerable. It's vulnerable. I was missing. I'm multi-talented, all of the above. Thank you, Patricia. Yes. Thank you, Robin. Oh, totally, Veronica. Yeah, right? That we go through them intermittently. Totally. Okay, so never mind. We have selected all of them. Many people, by far, most people selected I'm multi-talented, all of the above. Totally, Aaron. Okay, I got you. I'm on the same page with you now. Thank you. I was starting to get scared. I was like, oh no, I was going to become a victim to all of the blind persecutors out there, but glad we got that straightened out. But did any of you have a hard time picking the multi-talented option? Anybody like not see yourself in one of the roles? Now that I made such a big deal about it, like you might not say anything. But just be on the lookout for that. Okay, Aaron, totally. Right on. Okay, so now it's good to be looking at how we do this. How do we switch these roles? So for example, the rescuer pushed too far by a persecutor will switch to the role of a victim or a counter persecutor. This is my wife and I. Victims depend on a savior. Rescuers yearn for a basket case. Oh, I know, I just want to help you all out so much. I just want to help you see what victims, persecutors, and rescuers you can be. Persecutors need a scapegoat. You don't even need other people to be in the drama triangle. Totally. Right, Veronica? I can be doing this all on my own. I can run all three roles of the drama triangle in like a second in my head. So the victim's like, this is too hard. Everybody is against me. Give me a break. Persecutor, you're lazy. If you worked harder, if you were smarter, you'd be able to handle this. Rescuer, I'm going to plop in front of the TV and veg out so I don't have to think about it. So I can rescue myself. I'm just going to look at some social media things right now just to help me get connected to the world, because that really actually helps me connect to the world. If we're never able to finish a task before a deadline, what was my boss thinking? That kind of thing. I'm persecuting my boss now. If I have way too much to do at work, I'm a victim. She has no idea how much work it takes to do this, persecutor. It's not fair for her to ask so much of her team to put in all these extra hours that it'll take to get it done, rescuer. And no one on the team is going to tell her that it isn't fair, so I'm going to have to be the bad guy and let her know that she needs to update the deadline, victim. Right? Thank you, Patricia, totally. So, I want to play around a little more with this and be relating to it, but let's watch this clip. And what I want you to do is get your fingers ready on your keyboard. And I want you to type into the chat as we watch this clip together, P for persecutor. Every time you see it, as soon as you see it, just type in P. And then V for victim. Anytime you see somebody going into the victim role, hit V. And then rescuer. Anytime you see somebody going into the rescuer, hit R. And let's just blow up the chat with a bunch of P, Vs, and Rs as we watch this clip.
Find him. I got 5 mountains.
Elena,
A mortgage is killing me.
We need to talk to you.
You got it. Jerry's not doing badly, is he, folks? How much is it?
Hold on. I'm on the phone.
Yeah, I can see that. And we have a $406 phone bill, mainly due to some calls to a 1-900 number.
Selena, I'm just, you're in trouble. Now, why don't we
Listen, we'd help you out, but we're broke too, and you know we can't afford a new deposit if the phone gets shut off.
Maybe you could borrow the money from Michael.
No, Sammy. Jesus.
Lainey, what are you doing? What are you doing? You lay on that couch all day. Those pajamas are like your uniform. You run up a $400 phone bill. You watch TV, you chain smoke, you don't go outside, you don't do anything. Man, you are in the bell jar.
Look, this is my apartment. I signed the lease. I let you move in here when you had no job, no money, and you sponged off me for 2 months. And now, Miss Big Power Mom, I'm Andrew's now. You think you could just come in here and push me around?
She's not being pushy.
Sammy, what are you even doing here? You don't live here.
Hey, my little unemployed waif. You're the one who's looking for work now, okay?
God, you're really enjoying this, aren't you?
You're high. Why don't you go take a walk outside and get some fresh air?
You've been waiting for this since the day we met.
Oh, who told you that? Your psychic partner?
You've been waiting for this since the day we met. That's my favorite bit in that. I'm gonna use that one soon, just to have some fun with it. So, thank you. I love this. Yeah. We got tons of P, V's, and R's in there. Totally. So, the thing with the drama triangle is that it reinforces limiting beliefs. The victim, you can see that with her, that I'm helpless, I'm powerless, I can't do anything. In fact, you've been waiting for this. The persecutor, I can't trust anyone. Look at what they made me do. Oh yeah, she moved in the persecutor there too. And then rescuer, I have to please other people in order to exist, to be valuable. Ouch, that one hurts. I want to rescue the rescuer there. So in each case, the drama triangle is an instrument of destruction. And the only way to escape the drama triangle is to function as an adult, to accept appropriate responsibility and not participate in the game. So chat about a situation where you found yourself today. Go back over your day-to-day, where you found yourself being the victim, a persecutor, or a rescuer. Just a quick little, let me see. I found one when my alarm clock went off this morning. I was like, no, I'm still tired. As a victim to my alarm clock, even though I'm the one who set it. Where did I move into? During a coaching session, I definitely started trying to rescue somebody and give them advice. And, I caught myself there, but totally. Okay, so no shares on that. I know it's kind of hard to type all that into a chat, but be thinking about that. Oh, see, I just went to rescue all of you. It's like, I know, it's so hard. Totally. Go, Sheila. Oh, yeah. Good. Rescuing a coworker. I know. Rescuing, it's just, it can turn into such good gossips that way. I was a victim of my circumstances of having an insane family. Way to go, Donna. Totally right. It's all their fault. Yep. Sweet. Thank you for sharing. And anytime you see any of this stuff, oh yeah, Robin, while you're closing out my job, I felt like a victim because oh yeah, totally. And Robin, there is definitely no way you could have said, does this have to be done now, or can I get to this first thing in the morning? I don't know what you actually did, but we want to be aware of where we go into being the victim. Totally, Robin. Cool. Sweet. Good job, everybody, for sharing. And I love it. Anytime you want to share any little tidbits like that, it's fun. It's fun to find the humor in here. So, but what happens when you take responsibility and shake loose of the drama? The benefits of personal responsibility. When you realize your power, you see increased potential. You see more opportunities. You see more things that you can actually do. And you can focus that energy you can focus it on new behaviors that will produce successful outcomes in the future, as opposed to whining about stuff or persecuting about things. You have the power, you have the agency to improve and succeed. All of this lies within you. It lies within all of us. We have greater motivation, greater resiliency. We can bounce back from failures and upsets faster. When we make a mistake, we can come back at it. But if I make a mistake and I'm just blaming, I don't come back at it. You can accept and learn from whatever outcome you achieve. We have more of a growth mindset. I believe I can make changes. It allows me to see each experience as a learning experience, as opposed to something's wrong with me or something's wrong with somebody else or it's somebody's fault. Increased energy, greater problem solving. When you look to place blame on others and to justify or make excuses for circumstances, you're overlooking yourself and the potential avenues that you have for improving your situation. When you are willing to consider your own mistakes, the own pain points that we all have, or possibilities for change, then we're taking responsibility. You're more likely to see alternative solutions. You're more likely to partner well with others, to listen to other ideas. The more quickly we're able to take responsibility, the more quickly we can generate problem-solving solutions. We've got greater productivity overall. And there's this beautiful thing I want to share about a businessman going to Japan, helping companies develop their training people. This is Deming's research. And what he found about the trauma triangle, when people blamed, shamed, or justified in companies, tons of research on this, there was a 94% chance of no change. Only a 6% chance of change. But when taking responsibility, it goes up to a 94% chance of change. Oh my goodness. So they actually did a thing on this where in this one company, they would put $1 or $2 in to a jar for every time one of the people on the project recognized that they were blaming, shaming, or justifying. Anytime they recognized that they were making an excuse for something, they would put $1 in. And they raised, I forget the amount, but they raised a bundle of money, donated it to charity. But they said that it was way worth it because they were so much more productive. So it's like, even if we get if we can shift this from like 90 being irresponsible 94% of the time, if we could be only irresponsible like 90% of the time, or even like 80% of the time, just think about the difference that could make. Just think about just a few percentage points, how the quality of life can improve. So improved decision making, you're more likely to make decisions at all. And you aren't likely to put off making tough decisions. You'll make them sooner because you're willing to take responsibility for course correcting if you make a mistake. Better leadership, better relationships, fewer repetitive arguments. Your arguments will actually get somewhere. And increased altruism, greater understanding of others, increased intimacy, and increased trust. This is so true. My relationship with my wife, my friends, family, I mean, I am still totally in drama like a lot of the time, but my relationships have deepened in a way that I am so grateful for. So let's do a poll and be checking in with your heart, your yearning. Now, which of these benefits do you want most? Which of these will be really sweet right now? Greater motivation and productivity, improved decision-making, more hope, seeing more possibilities, having more energy, increased resiliency, better able to face challenges. I like that one. Better leadership, totally. And better relationships with more intimacy, more trust, more understanding. Oh, beautiful. Yes, Shakira, totally. More peace, productivity, confidence, resiliency. Yes, totally. Oh my gosh, we're getting a lot of ties on this one. So actually getting improved decision making, right? I know, isn't it freaky to think that like my decision making, just the way my brain works, is screwed up because I'm like in the drama triangle too much. So it's like, yeah, right. To be able to think clearer, to have more hope, to see more possibilities. Big one on that. Yeah. And more resiliency, to be better able to face challenges, and better relationships with more intimacy, trust, and understanding. My God, we had a 4-way tie on that one. Sweet. Well, thank you everybody for participating in that and for sharing your heart by way of a poll on a Zoom meeting. Nice going. You know, so we get so many benefits from taking charge and steering clear of drama. Why do we find it in ourselves? Because it's normal. Drama is how we interact. It's how we communicate or commiserate. We've been doing this our whole lives. You know, it's not healthy or optimal. It's just the norm. You know, lots of things are just normal, aren't that great. So we've gotten accustomed to it. And we don't see how pervasive it is. It's everywhere. You know, think about how many of your conversations with friends, family, coworkers, neighbors involve complaining or, you know, blaming somebody else or something. And sometimes blaming is just that gentle gossip. You know, I'll share about this. I come from like the nicest family. We're so nice. We're such good Christians. And yet I didn't really realize how much we would gossip, how much we would talk about things and things that we had no control over even. You know, talking about world politics in a way, getting all heated about that. And I remember one time sharing with my family, I went back to visit and it was over Christmas. And, you know, all of a sudden, like, we're not talking to each other directly. We're kind of talking about others and things. And I said, it was totally outside of what I was used to doing, but I took responsibility in that moment. And I said, you know, I didn't come all the way from Chicago to like talk about people who aren't here. Like, what's going on with you? What's going on with me is this. And I started, you know, that's the price I pay, is that then I'm sharing vulnerably, but I'm actually making contact with people as opposed to just kind of staying in the normal habitual conversation, the yada, yada, you know, stuff where I'm internally, I might be like, oh gosh, when's this conversation going to be over? You know, then I'm being a victim to it. But, you know, so be looking at that. And it's all over the place, you know? So once somebody's gossiping, then all of a sudden, like, more drama begets more drama. It invites the other ones, the other roles to come into it. And the minute you come across someone in one of the roles, you're naturally going to play one of those other roles. You know, somebody's talking about somebody else, and I might go in as a rescuer and be like, yeah, but really, are they so that, you know? So if you encounter a persecutor, you're going to probably revert to being a victim. Or you could, you know, be minding your own business when comes along a victim, and in pops up my inner rescuer. You know, rescuer, myself included, can sniff out someone to help, even making someone into a victim so that we can help. And victims attract persecutors to enact out the drama with them. And, if you appear as a persecutor, then you'll naturally generate a victim. That victim will find a rescuer who could possibly become your future persecutor. And the drama goes on and on and on and on and on. So we actively avoid leaving the familiar and the comfortable environment. And that's one of the reasons that we don't go outside of this, is because we're just used to it. We stay in the game and we even create it. We have secondary gains to this. So it's so appealing because it can give us a sense of power. Victims get to claim innocence. They get to claim gain doting and attention of the rescuer. It gives us a sense of power over our circumstances. We get a little hit, a little high, like we're actually meeting our needs. Persecutors, they get to sit in the seat of power, feeling superior, calling the shots. Rescuers get to feel righteous anger. Oh, yeah. Empathy, and ultimately getting to feel just a little superior to both the victim and persecutor. Yeah. Well, but there's no real power in this. The victim is not really as helpless as he feels. The rescuer is not really helping. And the persecutor does not really have a valid complaint. The cost of staying in the drama triangle, aside from not getting the benefits of getting out, well, the cost is that the drama triangle is seductive. It's a high energy blame game, which serves to redirect the focus of attention and energy and dialogue from personal accountability to the engaging interactions of blame, defense, and rescue. And again, we know from Deming that we don't get results that way. So the drama games, it generates excitement, but defeat accountability, defeats critical thinking, it defeats personal power, it defeats my ability to influence. Most drama players prefer the excitement and adrenaline of drama over the perceived boredom of the truth. Oh, it's so boring. Boredom, as many thinkers have said, is anger turned inwards. So at the conclusion of each dramatic interpersonal scenario, players experience a descent from autonomy and personal power into a vague sense of ennui, an increased proclivity for guilt, cynicism, and personal isolation, and a declining ability to perceive good intentions and truth. Oh man, so the whole world could be out to get me. You've been planning this since the day we met. So, what strikes you the most about playing the drama game? Let's take a look at this poll. What strikes you the most? That it's seductive, gets you excited and high and makes you feel alive? Or that drama has become a normal way of communicating for me? That I naturally create drama when there is none. There wasn't even any and I made it up. When I'm in all these roles, even the rescuer, I'm avoiding personal responsibility. What strikes you the most? My autonomy and personal power declines when I'm in drama. That one really hurts. It's like I'm not really living my life. That I can be a victim, persecutor, and rescuer all at the same time, right? In drama, I am inclined toward guilt, cynicism, and personal isolation. Ouch. Yeah, that one really hurts. I'm less able to perceive good intentions and truth when I'm in the drama triangle. Yeah, that's scary too. That one hurts. Somebody could actually be trying to help me, or there could be some great circumstances, and I don't see them because I'm in drama. So we got some highs here, but the winners are 68% said that in drama, I'm more inclined toward guilt, cynicism, and personal isolation. And 68% said I am less able to perceive good intentions and truth when I'm in the drama triangle. And it's really upsetting. It's really upsetting to think about, how much goodwill there could be out there that I am avoiding and possibly even pushing away. Oh, yeah. Oh, good to see you in the chat, Cynthia. So what happens when you step out of the drama triangle? When a player finally releases themselves from the trance of the drama games, they experience relief and a new sense of personal power and self-confidence. People talk about wanting more self-confidence. Get out of the drama triangle a little bit. You're going to feel more confident. The practice of being accountable for all the choices that we make empowers us to live and create the life that we're grateful for, that we're proud of. We can move from a fake self-care to a true form of self-care. The real issue with the drama triangle and why it's so hard for us seeking self-care to get out of is that when we're in it, we think we're taking care of ourselves. When I'm in the drama, when I'm, eating ice cream, potato chips, and binging Netflix, I think I'm being good to myself. So, when we're trying to deal with uncomfortable feelings and meet our emotional needs, underneath every victim is somebody yearning to be understood, yearning to be validated, supported, tended to, taken care of, and loved. Every persecutor is a persecutor is a cover for a person who wants to be affirmed, to feel better, to have her world work for her, to offload her feelings of fear and frustration, low self-esteem, powerlessness, or injustice, to be able to have a place to go with that. A rescuer is the cover for somebody who wants to matter, to be important, somebody who wants to be needed, to be valuable, to have a place in the world, hoping that people will then respect or appreciate. Ultimately, that person is yearning for people to take care of them like they take care of others. And let that sink in, rescuers. I often use the metaphor of if I'm trying to comb my beard or shave my beard, but I'm like doing it in the mirror. I'm like trying to do it to the world out there, the things that I want help with. And it's like, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? So underneath all of the ways that we engage in drama are really yearnings. And we call these deep needs, these yearnings, these are things that we all yearn for. They're universal human needs. Every single one of us has them. All of us here, every person on the planet has these deep, essential yearnings. And I want to do an exercise with all of you. Get seated comfortably. Get your feet on the ground if you're sitting in a chair. If you're laying down, let your back rest flat on the ground. Take some deep breaths, with all this upsetting drama stuff. And settle into your body. Feel any pain points you might have. You can notice all the anxieties. That's all fine, of course. But I want you to pay attention to the words that I'm going to say and to let the words land in your heart and to feel these. So I yearn to feel safe and secure. I yearn to love and be loved. I yearn to be seen, to be heard, to touch and be touched. I yearn to be affirmed. I yearn to be respected. I yearn to express, to create, to excel, to have mastery, to understood, to be known, to belong. I yearn to be connected with. I yearn to matter. I yearn to be intimate and to be valued. I yearn to make a difference. I yearn to fulfill my purpose, to do what I came here on earth to do. I yearn to connect with something greater than myself. And just be present with your feelings as you're thinking about those deep yearnings that we all have. You know, when we take part in the drama triangle, we are unconsciously looking to meet our yearnings, all these beautiful yearnings that we have. In the land of social and emotional intelligence, I'd say yearnings is what is the fabric of the universe, holding all of us together. And so we're unconsciously trying to meet these deeper yearnings when we engage in the drama triangle, because we displace our feelings. We try to meet our needs without feeling our feelings or having ourselves acknowledged. You know, we're trying to be indirect with ourselves, with others. And that never really fulfills our needs. And trying to fulfill our yearnings is the only way that staves off the hunger, leaving us needing to look for more drama to fill our hunger. When we do it this way, that is. You know, if we're trying to get our needs met through drama, it's like it's an addiction. It's a total addiction. And we're just getting enough. It's like we just get enough and then we look for more drama. And of course, this is what keeps us there, keeps us stuck in the trap. So, how to get out of it? How do I get out of the drama triangle? How do I have true satisfaction, true self-care? How do we go from victim to victor? How do we take charge of our life with personal responsibility? That's really the key, is personal responsibility. Because we always have a choice. We always have power, even if it is to choose how I react. You know, you may not be able to control the circumstances, but you can always control your response. You can control your attitude. And rather than hope, manipulate, we can learn to meet our deeper yearnings directly and get satisfied. So how to get out of the drama triangle trap? Step one is we got to recognize it. Recognize that I'm in it. That's one reason why we've been playing so much in here, spending so much time is looking at all the different angles, all the different ways that we can be in drama. Because step number one is to recognize that we're there. And then to not blame ourselves for it, but just to recognize, openness, awareness here is the real win. So you want to be alert for it. Be alert and know that you're going to be in the drama triangle and be planning to scan for it. Notice the many ways as you can where you find yourself being acted upon rather than being the actor or the director of your own life. Notice your internal dialogue, like many of us are doing, where we have resentment, helplessness, powerlessness. Notice experiences of someone doing something to you or accusatory feelings of blaming and shaming and those kinds of thoughts. Notice yourself if you're resenting a coworker, complaining about a boss or something, or if you're zoning out in front of the television, when doing something else might be more useful. Or perhaps, you try to make up for emotional needs with overeating. Totally got my COVID-19. You may confuse procrastination with nourishment. Put projects off rather than learning to jump in on them early and get them out of the way. Ask yourself this key question. In your drama-related role, why are you unable to give yourself real self-care? You know? What are you doing or saying to yourself that provides only emotional band-aids? If you can catch yourself there and ask yourself that, what would really be self-care right now? You might not even do it. Just notice what it would really be. That's the start. And step 2 is taking responsibility for your actions, for yourself. And the way that we do this, so we've got our rules of engagement, which is in our Heart of Fight book. Doctors Bob and Judith Wright wrote this. This is my favorite book of this type. Certainly my favorite book they've written. It is so useful for relationships and for career, anything involving relationships. And so in here, I don't know if I'm going to get into all of the rules of engagement, but a few of them are that no one gets more than 50% of the blame. Now think about that in terms of catching yourself in the drama and saying, okay, wait a minute, with this person, nobody gets more than 50% of the blame. It takes 2 to tango. Love, relationship, it's a two-way street. And then recognizing that each person needs to take 100% responsibility for their own satisfaction. Awesome. So I'm not to blame more than 50%, neither is the other person, and I'm going to take 100% responsibility for my own satisfaction. So you're always a participant in the drama or upset, even if the other person is working something through. When you find yourself blaming someone else, remind yourself that the highest percentage of blame you can assign is 50%. And taking 100% responsibility for your own happiness, your own self-care, that's not your partner's or your boss's or your kids' or your dog's responsibility to make you happy. It's yours. It's not God's responsibility to make you happy. It is your responsibility. You have agency. Yours alone. If you want something different, it's up to you to communicate that, to make it happen. So what do you yearn for? What do you truly want? How do you want to be in your relationships? What outcomes do you desire? If you want him to be more attentive, to take more responsibility for the household chores, what can you do about that? I mean, you say, it really means a lot to me when we partner together on things and, both clean up together. Maybe that's how you do it. If you want your partner to stop spending so much money, how can you share about that with your yearnings? I have a yearning to feel secure. And when you spend like that, especially without talking to me about it, I feel afraid. And I want security in this relationship. And so, that part then, step 3 is that yearning piece. Identifying the yearning. Notice the power of the yearning in communication. It's true. It's vulnerable and it's true. What's the deeper yearning that's going on in the drama? Do you yearn to be heard, to be loved? By identifying and naming the deeper yearning, you can help short circuit the drama, just like that. By really being able to communicate. When you leave things out like that, it's my experience of I just don't matter, that I'm not respected. And I feel really hurt about that. So taking responsibility for my experience of it. And, maybe you're yearning to be seen, understood, validated, supported of, tended to. What if you just say that? Oh my goodness, me learning to do this with my wife. And say honey, I had a challenging day and I just want to throw some temper tantrums and I'm so upset. And I want you to just give me a hug and just hold me. Just hold me. I just want to be held. And I might even I kind of don't want you to because I'm mad at everything, but yeah, okay, I kind of want. Just being able to go for what I want directly. If you're in the rescuer role, feeling like you want to help and make things better, maybe you're yearning to matter, to be important, to be needed. And learning to recognize that deeper yearning under the drama. Am I really mattering if I'm, trying to rescue somebody in a way that is absolutely useless? No. And the step that we're going to go to next is expressing and acknowledging the truth. So step 4. Express the truth, acknowledge the truth always. Because by admitting to and taking responsibility, it automatically breaks a drama triangle. If my wife is saying something to me, and it's just true. Like, hey, you left your socks out on the floor. What's up with that? Like, oh, that's true. Instead of like, oh, I'm so tired and I wasn't thinking about it. And, something like that. Then we actually get somewhere. We have a fun thing where if I do that, she ties them in a knot. Because I identify that when I do that, it's a yearning to be seen. I'm like, please take care of me. So another step is identifying the feeling, just naming the feeling. If I'm in a fight and I'm just really going at somebody, say, wow, I am noticing I am feeling so angry. And under that, I'm feeling afraid, like I just got to keep this all together. And if I don't, I don't know what's going to happen. That's an avenue out. So I want to check in with all of you. And let's do another poll. I want to check in with everybody and see what you're going to do differently tonight after tonight's event. What are you going to do differently? You're going to practice noticing when you're in drama and when you're feeling like a victim, feeling like a rescuer. You're going to remember that staying in the drama keeps me stuck instead of helping me get what I really want. You're going to practice real self-care by looking for what you're yearning for when you're feeling upset, when you're in the drama triangle. And steer clear of others' drama because I'll naturally take a role in it. I'm going to look for ways to step out of that. Or take responsibility for my own satisfaction and self-care. I've got the power. We've got the power. That's the one that is totally winning. 88%, right? We got the power. Taking responsibility for my own satisfaction and self-care. But right behind that is practicing real self-care by looking for what I'm yearning for under the drama triangle. That's beautiful, isn't it? I love that. There's been times where I'm like just getting in touch with my yearnings, and it's so amazing to be able to feel that deep human connection that we have when we're in our yearning space. It was really powerful. Yeah, Anita. See, you just met my yearning to be seen, Anita. Thank you. Totally, Patricia. I know, right? Knowing about it and doing things, are two different things. That's why we want you to be preparing for what you're going to be doing differently. Totally. Just something, just one step at a time. See, even that, I was noticing my wanting to rescue. Oh, good. So I have one more tip. And this actually came up in one of the polls we did earlier, where many of us were upset about how we wouldn't assume goodwill in others, how we wouldn't see it, how we wouldn't see how others actually care for us because we're all wrapped up in the drama triangle. And so this last point is to assume goodwill. Let's go for it. In the relationships you have, my goodness, this one comes in so freaking handy when I'm like really up against it. If I've been fighting with a loved one, when I remember this, to be like, wait a minute, like they care about me. They care about what we're doing right here. And I can weave that in to the fight. It is so helpful. because we often scan for what's wrong. And we look at how we can't handle this or how they don't appreciate us, or worse. All right, yeah. It's like everybody's out to get us. Oh yeah, it's like that thing again with our clip of I don't even know what movie that was, but with Winona Ryder. You've always been there to get me. You've been planning this from the day you met me. So if we can assume goodwill and people look like this, then they'll actually look like who they really are. They'll look different. Go to, yeah, there we go. See, people trying to help us out. Everybody on this call, all of you are like helpful, wonderful human beings, and got a whole world full of good people. So assuming goodwill and looking to see, and it helps us develop self-compassion, feelings for ourselves, connected to our humanity, remembering that we're humans susceptible to the drama triangle. It's going to happen sometimes. We'll find ourselves there. But know that we're trying to meet our deeper yearnings, and that our attempts are just a little misguided, but that we deserve to have our deepest yearnings met. So when you're in drama, just by assuming that others are well-meaning, that they're doing their best, it helps us see the possibilities and ways to make connections and ways to get out of the drama triangle. So, we're wrapping up here. Oh yeah. Right on. Thanks, Rich. And I just would love to hear from people in the chat. One way that you're going to use this going forward is give us all just a stake in the ground, a communication. Oh, thanks, Shakira. Good to hear. Self-improvement. Right on, Yua. Hey, I see your face smiling. Good to see you, Yua. Good to see everybody on here. Better relationships and more action. Oh, cool. Cool. Fantastic. Oh, that's right. I'm glad I was checking in with all of you. Find comfort in bad situations. Cool. Right on, Veronica. Azura, oh, thank you so much. Good to see you on here. Fantastic. Lisa, totally. The 50-50 idea, I don't deserve. Do I have that right? Hey, thanks for asking that question. I'm going to keep kind of talking a little bit here as I'm teeing up. So the 50-50 idea, that I can't assign 50% and you don't deserve more. Correct. In any relationship, it's a two-way street. So thank you for that question, Lisa Thomas. Totally. So be looking for that. If you're in a fight with somebody, with your spouse, loved one, whoever, coworker, there's some kind of contention there. Be looking for how you have contributed to whatever the challenge or problem is. That's a great thing to do. And then also to know that nobody else has more than 50%. So take a look at that. Thanks for asking. How do we distinguish the drama from a real life issue on hand? Oh, Veronica, totally. Great question. How do we distinguish, what if the boss really did give you too much work? I can speak quite clearly to that one. As a rescuer, I come into an organization and I like to oversell myself because I have a yearning to matter. And so I start saying, yeah, I can do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. Great. Yes. And pretty soon I find myself in a position where I'm over promising and under delivering, and I've overestimated my own abilities. And so I'm often training people to give me more than what I can really do. Or even if I just don't talk about it and say, you gave me that, but do you realize that really requires this, and this? Sometimes your boss might not even know what goes into the project. So for you to take responsibility in communicating that, and it's not going to happen in one conversation, probably. It's probably it'll be something that you'll work on over some time.